the Lord of the worlds. What happened after the 10?
I missed my family, the children.
Ignite hope and stamp out poverty with Imam Hussein Charity.
شلت عباس عمره 7 سنين. بابا ميت مستقل بابا. أريد بابا بالعد يشتري لي سيارة.
Sanad wanted an SUV, and thanks to your donations, we made his dua come true with Imam Hussein Charity. Look how happy he is. A smile like that costs nothing, and for these guys, it's priceless.
Let's make sure no orphan feels left out this Eid. Donate to our campaign and help us bring a smile to their faces.
Wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Ahkam SOS during this holy month of Ramadan. I am your host Sayyid Muthanna Al-Musawi, and I am joined by the one and the only Sheikh Ali. Salaam alaikum, Sheikhna.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you doing, Sheikhna?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Unfortunately, Sheikhna, for yesterday's episode, I could not make it. I was busy elsewhere, but Alhamdulillah, Sayyid Muhsin was on the scene and ready to take the action. He managed to ask you a question that I did not manage to ask you, Sheikhna. And I would rather ask it from me rather than from him. Sheikhna, so, how was Layal al-Qadr for you?
Alhamdulillah, it was great, especially when you go to a local mosque and you would perform the supplications and the a'mal on the Qadr nights with the brothers and sisters in that mosque or center. It's great blessings. You see brothers, sisters, each one supplicating, beseeching Allah Azza wa Jal for more blessings, for forgiveness, for the marhumeen. It's a great opportunity to see those who you wouldn't see during the year, for example. We see them on that, at least one of the nights of the Qadr. So it's a great blessing to be there and participate in the a'mal, alhamdulillah. And inshallah, Allah would forgive our sins and gives us the blessings to be able to continue till next Ramadan, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And one more question before I go back to the viewers at home, Sheikhna. Was Sayyid Muhsin better than me?
You both are great and stars of the show. Jazakumullah khair.
Sheikhna, you are the star of the show, and we are merely here to be part of the show alongside you. Without further ado, let me speak to the viewers at home. Dear viewers, this show, after all, is Ahkam SOS, the show where we discuss various Islamic topics, practices, and principles. So do send in your questions, especially during this holy month of Ramadan, a month where we learn and understand and get closer to our faith. So do send in your questions. To send in your questions, all you need to do is, with the numbers shown below, you can either call on with this number 0203 515 0199, or send in your questions via the WhatsApp over here 0741 509 2155, or you can scan the QR code for a nice shortcut. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can send in your questions in the comment section, and inshallah the Sheikh will be here to answer it. Without further ado, Sheikhna, let us begin. From YouTube, salam to the both of you. My question is this: can I ask an Imam to directly forgive my sins and help me find a wife or pass my exams? Or should I ask them to pray to Allah for me?
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطاهرين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين. The Quran is very clear that وابتغوا إليه الوسيلة, seek means to Allah Azza wa Jal, and those who implemented this kind of godly instruction, or let's say advice, in this holy verse were the sons of Yaqub, as I've mentioned many times, that they came to their father and said, after what they did to brother Yusuf alayhi salam, they said, Ya abana astaghfir lana, straight, direct, asking their father to do istighfar on their behalf. As I've said, they could have said, Oh Allah, astaghfir lana. But they came to their father, who's an infallible, a prophet of Allah, a pious man, to ask him as a means towards Allah Azza wa Jal to forgive their sins. So yes, this is Quranic verse, very clear that they asked their father directly. And we can do so as well.
And we can do so. Okay.
Bi'idhnillah, don't forget.
Of course,
Yes.
of course. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And from WhatsApp, Salaam alaikum. Do I have to do ghusl after touching a dead animal? For example, a cat.
No, if it's, let's say, your hands or the cat was wet, then you have to purify it because it's a mayta, it's impure, so you just have to wash it.
Okay.
Otherwise, there's no ghusl on such corpse.
On
Animal corpse. Yeah.
on the animal.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but for you as yourself, if you touch a dead animal, do you then need to do ghusl?
I just said no.
No.
You just have to wash if your wet hand touched the body of the animal corpse, or the animal corpse was actually wet.
Okay.
Because mayta is impure, najis.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna, for clarifying. And from YouTube, I heard a Shia Sayyid say it's permissible to pray in shoes. This is the first time I hear this. Is this true?
No, we don't have such a thing. Maybe other sects, they have something similar, but we don't have such a thing. Some sects, they have also, you can wipe masah on your socks, they have it.
Okay.
So they would allow it, but we don't have such a thing at all. No, you have to pray and perform the wudu without shoes, in terms of the wudu, without shoes, without socks for the masah. It has to be on the skin, on your head, for example, on the hairs. And for the salah, you have to pray bare feet without shoes. Socks is fine, but without shoes.
Which sect, Sheikhna?
I can't remember exactly, but it's one of those sects.
One of those.
Hanafi or...
Yeah, one of those ones, yeah. Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, what is the significance of the night of Qadr? And how can we optimize our deeds on such a night? Unfortunately, the nights have passed, but inshallah, for future reference, Sheikhna, if you would like to answer that question.
I mean, we still have time till the night of Eid, so we still can take into consideration the coming nights of the month of Ramadan. From tonight onwards, still you can supplicate, you can ask Allah Azza wa Jal. These 10 days are crucial days in the third quarter of the month of Ramadan. There's emphasis on it from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, on these 10 nights. So it's important that one tries to catch with anything he missed or she missed during these nights, especially the Qadr nights. If you can try to increase the hours and minutes and times you have and fill it with Quran recitation, supplications, prayers, mustahab prayers, as I've said. If you have qada, try to do the qada of prayers in these nights, for example, and days. And if you can do other acts of, let's say, charity, sadaqah, then still you have time. Best nights and best time to give. Time,
Understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And just a quick reminder to the viewers at home, we are now roughly 5-10 minutes into the episode tonight. So do send in your questions. For any people joining in, just a quick reminder, do send in your questions. After all, this show is just about answering your questions, about learning more about our faith, getting closer to our deen, and understanding more about our religion. So do send in your questions. All you need to do is either call in or send a message with the numbers below, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can send in your questions in the comment section, and inshallah the Sheikh will be answering it. Sheikh, from YouTube, Salam alaikum, respected Sheikh and Sayyid. Did the prophets or imams take the Quran during Laylatul Qadr? and put it on their heads? And if they didn't, what do we have to lose by not doing it either?
You see, what we do goes back to either the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Sirat Ahl Bayt alayhim salam, Imam al-Sadiq, Imam al-Baqir. Of course, whatever we do has a source. Of course, I haven't read the specific hadith about this, but definitely there's a source for it. And I'm sure if you go back to the books of Ad'iyah, in the beginning it tells you who narrated this, for example, narration or statement that you open the Holy Quran and then put on your head. It mentions there. Because some, for example, ask about why do we put our hands on top of our heads when we say the Imam Zaman's name, the actual, the specific title, and we stand up. There's a narration that Imam Rida alayhi salam, when they mentioned the Imam's title, he stood up and he put his hand over his head.
Okay.
So what we do, there is evidence for it, there's a narration for it, there's a seerah for it, there's a sunnah for it. So it's not just out of vacuum that we bring stuff and support it. Alhamdulillah, we have Kitab Allah wa Ahl Bayti as a source for the mustahab and for the wajib.
Yeah, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from YouTube, Salaam alaikum, Sheikh. How old was Fatima al-Zahra when she married Imam Ali alayhi salam?
You see, number one, we should not compare Ahl Bayt with us. لا يقاس بآل محمد أحد من هذه الأمة. Nobody can compare himself with Al Muhammad salamullah alayhim amongst this nation, the Muslim nation. So even if we bring specific age or numbers, or let's say why Imam al-Jawad alayhi salam, for example, took the Imam when he was 9, for example. A child becomes the Imam of a nation, of Muslim nation. How? Go back to the Holy Quran. Isa alayhi salam, he states in his cradle, it was only 1 or 2 days. He says, Inni Abdullah atani kitab wa ja'alni nabiyya, that I am the slave of Allah, the servant of Allah. Allah gave me the book and made me prophet while he was a baby, 1 or 2 years old, 1 or 2 days old, just recently born. So this shows that the prophets and their vicegerents, they have a specific position before Allah Azza wa Jal. So if Fatima alayhi salam, she gets married 10, that's not something strange, because she's different than other girls and other women, because she grows up fast compared to other girls and women. There was a hadith mentioned about that she would grow up faster than other ladies and girls. So she has a status where Allah Azza wa Jal gave her, because she said she's the chief of the women of the world, the lady of the women of the world. So best the woman of the world in dunya and akhirah as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And from WhatsApp, can I wipe my feet with socks on for wudu?
I think I mentioned that we cannot do so. It's not permissible.
Of course, of course.
Wudu is batil.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And from WhatsApp, if I touch a dog, what will I do to purify myself?
Just wash it with pure water, running water, for example.
Okay, thank you, Sheikhna. And from YouTube, is it true some of our classical scholars said Maghrib is at sunset rather than waiting the extra 15-20 minutes? Is it possible to have a direct answer on this?
Yes, there's 1 or 2 of ulama, marājiʿ, who say that it is with the sunset. They have their own evidence, their own justification, but in the majority, if not we say mashhur, or the majority would say that Maghrib Shar'i, which means 15 minutes to 20 minutes after the sunset. Because وَأَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ, you have to accomplish fast till night time. So would sunset is at night time? So that's the issue. So it has to be at least few minutes after the sunset to have this partial darkness in the sky and that redness on top of the head to be visible. Then you can pray and open your fast.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, if while I am praying, I have an itch on my head or on my body, am I allowed to itch myself while I'm praying?
If you can avoid it, otherwise it's not something that would break your prayers or have an issue, but it's better for the one to be calm and motionless in their prayers. Because I think it's mentioned that if your body parts are calm and motionless and stable, then your heart and the inner parts of your body would be also stable and focus in the salah.
Okay.
If you keep
Yeah.
moving your hands, brushing, I don't know.
Yeah.
So then you would lose that connection with the salah in somehow.
Okay, understood. And actually, Sheikhna, they had a follow-up question. The follow-up question is, if sometimes when I do have the itch, I itch my hand, and then it ends up being that I itch my hand like this, and it becomes like I'm praying in the other sect's way.
No, it's fine.
That's completely
That's
fine.
yeah.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. It's completely fine. Don't worry, dear brother. And from YouTube, what are the virtues of giving adhan and iqamah? And does it greatly affect our namaz?
Yes, indeed, it's very encouraged for the one to recite adhan and specifically iqamah before they start their salah. It's not wajib, it's not part of the prayers, daily prayers, but it's important for the one to either listen to the live adhan and then they start their iqamah and then pray. Otherwise, they can start the salah without adhan or iqamah.
Okay.
It's not wajib, but it's very encouraged.
Yeah.
So if one can do so, that would be great. Especially if somebody can recite the adhan a bit loud. If you're in the mosque or even at home, if there's no issue with the neighbors, you can recite. There is a reward for the one who recites the adhan loudly, that they would see things on the Day of Judgment that others can't see. So that kind of reward is given, yeah.
Very interesting.
The Day of Judgment is a great day where things happening, so people want to see what's going on. So the mu'adhin would be given specific position on the Day of Judgment to be able to see things that others can't see.
I actually have a further question on this, Sheikhna. So my little brother, when we're at home and when we're all in a nice gathering, he tends to do the iqamah. But sometimes what he does is he gets like a microphone. Sometimes he turns it on, sometimes he doesn't, and he does the iqamah with that. That's completely fine to do, right?
Yes.
That's completely fine. Even if it's turned off and there's no use of him.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, my young brother, who has recently become baligh, missed a fast due to being sick last Ramadan. Do we have to pay fidya on his behalf? And what if we didn't realize that we needed to pay when this Ramadan began?
If he could make this holy month Ramadan to make it up, I mean, he had 11 months just before this holy month Ramadan, and it was wajib for him to make it up during those months. If he didn't, and now we have the second month Ramadan, of course he needs to pay a fidya for that day missed, plus to make up after this holy month, inshallah.
After the holy month. Understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from YouTube, what is the definite meaning of the term tabara, and how should Shi'as act upon it?
You see, this is something rational. It's not just something religious. Today we see the countries, the world, there are people who are against specific dictators or against specific leaders, and they ask revenge, war, to fight, to resist, and so forth. Rationally, you wouldn't submit and pay allegiance to someone who is a tyrant, who is bad. Always you have, even in the games, if you see when they produce games or films or movies, always there's a bad guy, there's a good guy. This is something rational, aqli, logical, where the bad guy, the good guy tries to get rid of the bad guy in somehow. So that's tabarra, basically, that you would reject, denounce, and reject and refuse the bad person, or the bad deed, or the act, and so forth. So that's something rational. Before it's religious. So it's part of the belief, as I said. Tawalla, tabarra is part of the belief that you would follow those good individuals and you would denounce and reject bad individuals.
Of course.
Who cause corruption, destruction, bloodshed, and so forth.
Understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And to the viewers at home, we are now 20 minutes into the episode. Just a quick reminder to those tuning in, do send in your questions. There's no need to be shy or no need to be hesitant. After all, this show is all about seeking knowledge. We've got many different kinds of questions here before, so don't be shy or don't be hesitant with asking your question. If you are confused about anything, if you have a gap in knowledge, or if you want to reaffirm whatever ideas that there are in your mind, do send in your questions, and inshallah the Sheikh will be here to answer them. Do send it in with the numbers shown below, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can send in your questions there, and inshallah they will come to my iPad here, and I will ask the Sheikh on your behalf. So, Sheikhna, from YouTube, is anime all right to watch?
What's anime?
Anime, so Japanese animation, so animation cartoons, stuff like that.
You see, any work which is produced either through cartoon or 3D or any other means that causes corruption, spreads falsehood, arouses the lust and temptation, would be forbidden. So it depends how clean is this production is made of. Is there any kind of arousal of lust as a result of watching? So it depends. If it's just, let's say, talks about nature, for example, should be fine. Otherwise, anything that would cause corruption, arousal of lust, even deviation, falsehoodness, one should avoid it.
Okay, to avoid it. Understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, I hope you are all doing well. My question is, when I reach the part during wudu where I have to wipe my head, do I need to move my hair aside and wipe along the entire middle of my scalp from the back to the front? Or is it sufficient to reach the back of my scalp and simply wipe forward?
You just have to wipe on your head, so without any issue. Just a slight move. You don't have to wipe from the back of your head all the way to the front. No.
Okay.
Just a slight move and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you need to
No.
move your hair?
No, it's fine.
To the side? Okay.
Fine, yeah.
That's fine. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, in a world where sectarianism, I do apologize. In a world where sectarianism is often seen as something dangerous, how can Shia youth practice tabara without facing hatred or discrimination?
You have to be smart and you have to choose the place, the time, the gathering, the type of the crowd that you're facing. And of course, initially start with the Quranic advice. بالحكمة والموعظة الحسنة, with wisdom and good words, with the admonishing words. وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن, and use the best method to have dialogue and debate with them. So always start. Look how Imam As-Sadiq Salamullah alayhi spoke to the atheists, to the non-Shia, how he debated them nicely with evidence, with profound proofs, logical proofs, before religious proofs. Read Kitab al-Kafi, Bab al-Ihtijaj, on how the Imam, for example, did ihtijaj or dialogue with those non-Muslims or non-Shia. Let's learn from Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. Why not?
Yeah.
And of course, the tabarra itself also has its own place and its own time. Yeah, again.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And I'd just like to say sectarianism. So I do know how to say that correctly. From YouTube, should we do taqleed? Did our imams allow it? And should we follow a range of mujtahids or just one?
You see, taqleed is like imitating or following the experts in all fields. We do taqleed of the doctor who would advise and write prescription for us. What kind of medicine we have to take, how many doses, hours, days, and so forth. We just take the prescription and we just use it without any argument with the doctor. The same applies to the mechanics. You know, my car broken down, take it to the mechanics, fix it, and walk away. So the same thing, I have shari issues, haram, wajib, halal. I go back to the expert who are the fuqaha, jurists, to be able to find the solution for what is haram, what is wajib, and work on it. So, and the imams mentioned this many times that, Quran says, فَسَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ, ask those who know, which are Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And then after Ahlul Bayt, of course, we go back to the ulama, the just ulama, who would narrate, those who, in the hadith mentions, those who narrate our hadith. So take your deen from those who narrate our hadith. Follow them, in other words. Because they are the ones who would interpret and filter the narrations, and be able to produce a verdict, the fatwa, so you can implement it. Otherwise, where would you go? If we abandon taqlid, where can I go? How do I know that this act is haram or halal? How do I know this is najis or tahir, for example? That's not my job. That's the alim job. The same applies to other fields in this dunya.
Understood. Well, very well put, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And from YouTube, can I listen to Noha when I do homework? Because we Muslims don't listen to music, so I like Noha and it makes me concentrate on my homework. Is it allowed?
Yes, of course. Shar'an, there's no issue that you can listen. You can listen to the whole Quran while you're working, for example. Dua, why not?
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, if I'm in the middle of Salah and my mother calls me, do I need to stop my prayer and attend to her? And does the ruling change depending on whether it's an obligatory prayer or a recommended one?
It depends on the ulama's views with this regard. Now, is it mustahab salah, wajib salah again? There's a discussion with the ulama. They discuss this issue. That what about the father? Is there a difference between the mother and the father? Again, I can't give exact verdict for that because different ulama would have different views. But it's important that for the one to answer his parents when they call him. Yes, in the salah, maybe depends the situation.
Yeah.
If you say Allahu Akbar, telling them that I'm inside the salah, because you can't say dhikr in salah, even if you are in the middle of the Quran or reciting the Holy Quran, Hamd Surah. You can, for example, let's say Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, for example. But anyhow, as I've said before, it depends on the situations, which of the parent, who you follow with this regard.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from YouTube, is it allowed to perform prayer after touching a dog?
If your hand was wet, you have to wash it first, and then you can go to perform the salah.
So only if your hand is wet?
Yeah.
So even if you just touch it with your hand is normal, you can then go and perform salah?
Because there's no evidence that you have to purify yourself and ghusl and so forth. Or do the wudu again, for example.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from YouTube, if the children of Yusuf asked their dad for forgiveness for killing his son, isn't it normal to do so? And how does it prove we can make dua to another than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Because the Prophet said, I leave with you two weighty things, the book of Allah and my progeny. So we follow now the book of Allah when it comes to tawassul and asking for forgiveness through his means, his prophets and their vicegerents. And that's what exactly the sons of Yaqub did, asking for forgiveness directly from their father to ask Allah Azza wa Jalla for their forgiveness for what they did. Of course, they didn't kill Yusuf, they tried to kill. The intention was there to kill, but they didn't do so. So, no, the one can actually go and ask the Prophet or the Imam directly, as the sons of Yusuf, Yaqub did.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna, for clearing that up for us. And from YouTube, if I'm in the middle of my salah and my mother calls, so I believe this question has been asked twice. It's the same question of when the mother calls and do you need to stop. The Sheikh already answered that. And from YouTube, in my community, most people have stopped using the moon to decide the day of Eid. What should one do in such a community?
You have to go back to the experts in that city who would do moon sighting. Definitely in every city there is someone or groups. Some of them related to the office of the marājiʿ, one of the ulama. They would go and do moon sighting, and they are as a witness that just, shahidin adilin, for example, two just witnesses. So if their words can be taken, then one can follow their word. Otherwise, we go back to the ulama in Qum al-Najaf to see what they announce, and then we follow.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, is it permissible to watch animated cartoons which involve women in without hijab, as they are not real people?
As I've said before, any image, cartoonic, non-cartoonic, 3D image, that would cause corruption and arouse of lust, would not be allowed.
Okay. Thank you very much for clearing that up for us. And from WhatsApp, is it permissible to sell pictures of my feet online?
Is he a male or female? Male.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it depends. If he's a male, then he can show himself and,
Yeah.
without covering his head, for example. The female, no, there's a problem.
Of course.
There's
Of
a
course.
mushkila.
Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, I have a question for the Sheikh. What's his opinion about Ya Ali alayhi salam madad? Isn't it shirk? And if not, how is it not shirk?
So if I say, what is his name? Is he Ahmed? If I tell him, Ya Ahmed, can you help me tomorrow with my, I don't know, delivery or whatever, would that be shirk? Am I saying him, this brother who could be Ahmed or Muhammad or anything else, would it be shirk? If I seek assistance from someone to help me to deliver something or to pick up something, would that be shirk? Am I saying that, Ya Ahmed, Ya Hassan, Ya Fulan, come and help me? Doesn't mean I'm saying that you are Allah's partner in this support and help. Absolutely, this is not the way we believe at all.
Of course.
وَابْتَغُوا إِلَيْهِ الْوَسِيلَةِ. Read the Holy Quran before mixing up these thoughts and ideas.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And to the viewers at home, we will now be going on a break. And of course, this is the best time to send in your questions while we are on a break. But before we do go on a break, I believe the Sheikh has something he would like to tell us. Over to you, Sheikhna.
Yes, indeed, very short. On these nights, in the Sahar time, we recite usually Dua al-Baha, famous dua, to be recited just before Adhan al-Fajr time. In one of the parts, we say to Allah Azza wa Jal, Allahumma inni as'aluka min rahmatika ba'awsi'aha. I would ask Allah Azza wa Jal for His vast mercy, بأوسعها, the vast mercy of Allah in this holy month. وكل رحمتك واسعة, and all your mercy is vast. اللهم نسألك برحمتك كلها. I would ask Allah for all His mercy, because we need every second, every moment Allah's mercy to be able to continue our life with blessings, with forgiveness, with Allah's mercy, to be able to achieve our goal, and that is to attend paradise, inshallah, with Muhammad wa Muhammad sallallahu alayhi, and gain that rahmah with Muhammad wa Muhammad, inshallah.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And to the viewers at home, as I have just said, we will now be going on a break, but don't go anywhere, inshallah. The Sheikh will be here to answer your questions after the break.
For those interested in an Islamic law book by Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Al-Shirazi, please WhatsApp the Ahkam SOS team at the following number to place your order today: +44 7415 09 2155. The Islamic law book, available exclusively in hard copy, contains religious questions answered by Grand Ayatollah Sayyid Sadiq Al-Shirazi. Order your hard copy today.
These orphans need your help and require your assistance. Don't let any of these orphans go hungry this Ramadan. Please donate.
Don't let this be the end. Keep the hope alive.
I have a question regarding keeping pictures of scholars at home.
Is it permissible to plant trees by or
Does
over
Islam
the
establish
graves?
based on peace and
Is it
non-violence?
permissible to collect donations for charity projects from
Is it permitted to consume canned food imported from non-Muslim countries?
Is there an issue for men looking at non-Muslim women?
To have your questions answered live, WhatsApp us on +44 7415 09 2155.
Welcome back after the break to Ahkam SOS, the show where we discuss various Islamic topics, practices and principles. I'm your host, Sayyid Muthanna Al-Muswi, as you can see below me. Just a quick thing that I'd like to say. I hope that during the break you managed to send in your questions. If you have not done so, you know how, and it will be shown below very shortly. Of course, there is a brand new thing. I've got some inside information. There are 3 stages on three tier levels on which is better to send in your questions. Of course, the YouTube comment section is tier number 3, where might be delayed, might be inaccuracies in your questions when you do send it to us. If you sent it on the WhatsApp number shown below over here, or if you scan the QR code, which you will be able to send your questions on the WhatsApp number, that's tier number 2, where your questions will be more accurate and will come to us faster, and inshallah the Sheikh will be able to answer it quicker. And of course, tier number 1 is with the phone call, which is this number over here, 0203 515 0199. I of course recommend tier number 1, but if you would like to use tier number 2 and tier number 3, which is WhatsApp and YouTube, that's completely up to you, and I will be at your service and I will ask the Sheikh on your behalf. But either way, of course, we all want to be in that top tier, so do send in your questions. Of course, Sheikhna, let us carry on with the questions from WhatsApp. I have seen brothers from other schools of thought criticize us by saying that the Shia say Karbala is holier than Mecca. Is there any basis for this in our traditions?
You see, Allah Azza wa Jal chose specific lands to be the holiest compared to other lands. The land of Kufa, the land of Karbala, the land of Medina, with the holy city of Medina, the shrine of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and of course the holy city, the Haram of Kaaba, Haramullah Azza wa Jal. These are holy lands Allah chose, and in these 4 lands, the Musafir, someone who travels for 2-3 days to stay there, to pray there, to let's say do some rituals, they can pray full rather than qasr. They have the choice. So one of the specific and exceptional hukum for those who are in travel, they can actually pray there in full, their salah in Mecca, in Kaaba, Medina Munawwara, and Karbala and Kufa. These are Allah chose these holy lands to be great and to be respected highly. Especially the Kaaba, when you go there, you have to be with ihram. You can't just walk inside Mecca without ihram. So you can see how holy. Of course, now which is greater, which is the best, this is something that the Holy Prophet and his family, alayhi salam, they decide which land is the holiest and why is it holiest. And if they say Karbala, then we submit. If they say Kaaba and the land of Mecca, we submit. It's something based on their statements, because they said, and the Prophet said, follow the book of Allah and my progeny, and of course the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So if they say Karbala is the best, we follow, we submit. If they say Kaaba is the best, we submit. So we follow their instructions and guidelines. Otherwise, we cannot go against them. Na'udhu billah. And I can choose my own. Let's say I said today, no, the best land is Baytul Maqdis, for example. It's not my choice. That's not I can just make up things out of my mind, because I see this land has been oppressed for the past 75 years, bloodshed, thousands were killed, innocent people were killed for the past 75 years. So it's the best land, for example. No, it's not my choice. We leave it to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam.
Thank you very much, Sheikhna, for refuting that. Thank you very much. From YouTube, what is the opinion of the tahrif of the Quran?
Ulama from the past and present believe that, the Shia ulama, that Quran that we have today is as it was revealed on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, with no fabrication, with no tahrif. So that's the actual Quran that we have, which was revealed on Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam by Jibreel alayhi salam.
Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, what is the wajib age for boys to fast in the holy month of Ramadan? In Shia Islam, as some in school, they say it's 11 according to the Sunnis.
No, in terms of the boys, either they see the signs of puberty or the bulugh. If they see that sign, even if they were 12, 13, they have to fast and of course pray. Otherwise, if they haven't seen anything, then by completing 15 years of age, they have to start automatically fasting and praying. So either by completion of 15 or when they see the signs earlier than the age.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. We've got a couple of questions, all from the same person. So I'll go through with you one by one on it, Sheikhna. From WhatsApp, Salaam Alaikum. If a lady has brown discharge at the start and pink/brown discharge at the end of her monthly cycle, which is normal for her in her usual cycle, is this considered her monthly cycle?
She has to go back to the past days or the months to see how many days she had. If it's 5-6 days, because the minimum of the cycle is 3 days and the max is 10 days. Beyond 10 days is istihada. So it has to be between 3 and 10. That's
okay.
And she has to see how many days she had in the past months and to stick that days, basically.
Okay.
So as I've said, if it exceeds 10 days, then of course that's something else.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Sheikhna. And then she goes on to ask, does she only start fasting once it is a clear discharge? And when should she do ghusl as close to Fajr as possible?
Yes, ghusl, yes. With the ghusl, and then you start the fast by the Fajr time, yes.
Okay, and then they go on to say, I presume even if she still has a little brown discharge, but she cannot be sure it will continue the next day, she has to do ghusl before Fajr, correct?
I mean, they know better in terms of the signs of if it's stopped or still continuous. But if it's stopped, that's it. She has to do the ghusl and then start Fajr with the intention of fasting. Otherwise, it could be in the middle of the day, it could be in the beginning of the day, it could be minutes before Maghrib, which means that's in all these 3 scenarios, the fast will be invalid and void.
Okay.
So if that happened, I mean, if she saw that thing in the middle of the day, beginning or just before the adhan of Maghrib, the fast is invalid. She has to make it up later.
Okay.
In other words.
Okay. And then their final question: can I consider any non-clear discharge within 10 days to be a monthly cycle?
I'm sure you should have a fixed days a month, so you have to follow that. Basically those days. It could be 5 to 6 days, 7 days. It depends. Sometimes it goes up and down, but usually it's fixed. It's fixed, and she needs to check the beginning and the end. So that's important. And then you stick with those days. When it's clear, then it's clear. That's it. Also, start praying, fasting. That's it. Straight away.
Okay. Thank you, Sheikhna. And then from YouTube, I was washing my mouth and got water swallowed by mistake. Is my fast still valid?
No, it should be fine.
It should be fine.
Yeah, it was intentional. And you were sure that if you wash your mouth, it wouldn't go inside. And sometimes I'm not sure, then I can't wash my mouth. But if you're sure that before washing your mouth, nothing would go inside, but out of a sudden went, that's fine.
That's fine. Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. And then from YouTube, is it possible I swore by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to my Sunni classmates that the Ahlul Bayt added the 3rd Shahada in the Adhan, and this was done by the Prophet and the Ahlul Bayt?
Imam Sadiq, if you say La ilaha illallah, then say Muhammad Rasulullah, then say Ali ibn Waliullah. So Imam's instructions and of course Rasulullah's Day of Ghadir is very clear. He affirmed this act of Shahada Thalitha.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, if someone has memory problems and doesn't always remember that it is the holy month of Ramadan and that they should be fasting, and does accidentally break his fast and then remembers again that he should be fasting, does his fast still count?
As I've said before, that for such situations, one should ask somebody to guide them, to help them. It depends how severe is the situation. But anyhow, if somebody forget, even for us, if we forgot that today is the month of Ramadan and we start having breakfast, that's fine.
Okay.
Wouldn't invalidate your fast. When I remember I have to stop eating and I have to resume my fast, it wouldn't break my fast. Although I ate full lunch or full breakfast. But because I forgot, that's fine. unintentional.
Yeah.
So if you broke his fast unintentionally, it's fine.
It's completely fine.
Exactly. But it's good to ask someone to remind this individual that you're fasting and so forth, to avoid eating and so forth.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from YouTube, can the Sheikh please explain who Hani bin Arwa was and what he was known for?
One of the prominent of the ulama of the Ahl Kufa, there was a tribe behind this individual. He was one of the tribemen of his clan. Shia of Ali alayhi salam. Muslim Aqil, when the Imam sent him to Kufa, he went to Hani's house. Eventually, Ibn Ziyad la'anahullah, he discovered that Muslim Aqil has contacted Hani. Eventually, he took them both and he killed them both. So, of course, he was the one of those Shia of Ahl Bayt and ulama in which they paved the way for the Karbala to support Imam Hussein salamullah alayh. Rahmatullah alayhi. When you go to Kufa, make sure you visit his grave. Just opposite Muslim Aqil. They're both in the same mosque.
In the same, okay.
Yeah. And make sure you visit them, inshallah.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. Thank you very much. And from WhatsApp, as people become more and more connected to the materialistic world, what's the best way youth can center their attention to deen?
By attending the gatherings in their centers and local mosque, and to have their own youth programs in their own language, be it English or French or Spanish, wherever you are, from which community, Arabic, Farsi, whatever is the source or the place they reside and live. So make sure that you gather, especially on the nights of Friday, Eve, recite dua Kumail together, dua Nudba in the morning of Friday. Revive Majalis Ahl Bayt. Make sure that you, at least with this small gathering you would attend, even at your own home or flats. Make sure that you revive the Majlis of Ahl Bayt, the Shahada, the Wilada. I think that would give them a lot of strength in terms of spiritually and religiously as well, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, many Noha and Maqabat, especially in South Asian countries such as Pakistan, have started using poetry that can be argued to be borderline shirk. How can we as a Shia set a fine line between shirk and non-shirk poetry?
There's something needs to be mentioned to ulama in Pakistan, for example, or anywhere where there's such poetry is being recited, and they can deal with it. So the local mosques, the imams of the mosques, can talk to those, poets and talk to them and try to deal with the issue. That's the best way.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, why do the Sunnis not teach about what happened in Karbala? And why do they hold Muawiyah and Yazid as Sahabas after what they did?
I think he answered in the second section of the question that would breach the sanctity of the Sahaba. That the Sahaba are just and they're all in paradise. Especially Muawiyah, one of those who they would revere and respect. Some of the sects, most of the sects. So Karbala means destructing and destroying the holiness of the Sahaba in overall, and showing the true face of those who came to Karbala and those who paved the way, like Muawiyah and others, towards the Karbala to kill the grandson of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. And from WhatsApp, if I want to deposit my money in a bank in the UK, and the bank has given me the option to put my money in an interest-free Sharia account, but I still decide on putting my money in their standard account that gives interest, is it haram?
Getting interest from the non-Muslim banks is allowed, but you have to pay khumus on that interest received. So you can't give, but you can receive from the non-Muslim banks. But you have to pay khumus on that interest.
On that interest as well. Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And then from WhatsApp, is it true that shaitan is literally locked up during the holy month of Ramadan, or is it just said as like a metaphor?
No, the hadith or the prophetic sermon mentions that he is locked, or they are locked the shayateen, but do not unlock them with your sins. So make sure that you don't unlock them with the sins that is committed in this holy month. So that's one of the exceptions of the holy month of Ramadan, that the shayateen are locked, but make sure that you don't unlock them with your bad deeds, in other words.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikh. And from YouTube, is it allowed to lie about your past when getting to know someone for marriage? Or is it best just to say, I prefer not to answer questions about my past?
You're not obliged to answer for the past, no.
You don't have to answer?
No.
Okay. Okay. And from WhatsApp, I have a question for the Sheikh. My name is Hiram, and I am from Pakistan. And I recently sent you a question about Ya Ali alayhi salam madad. I am a Shia, and of course I believe in tawassul, but isn't it more like asking directly to Imam Ali alayhi salam rather than making him a wasila?
Quran states, وَابْتَغُوا إِلَيْهِ الْوَسِيلَةَ. What can you do? If the Quran tells you, go through Ali, go through Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Kitab Allah wa itat Ahl Bayti. If Allah brings Ahl Bayt with Kitab Allah, what can I do? وَابْتَغُوا إِلَيْهِ الْوَسِيلَةَ. And then read the hadith of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam. دعاء توسل. يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. عند الله. See, we connect to Allah Azza wa Jal. Connection. بإذن الله. عند الله. بحق الله. Otherwise, you go to Mecca, you kiss the black stone, you say, Ya Allah, بحق هذا البيت. You would put the Baytullah, the Kaaba, and the black stone as a wasila. Ask Allah for your forgiveness. And you touch the Kaaba's curtain and the wall, asking for Allah's forgiveness. You don't have to go there. You can just sit away from Mecca and say, Ya Allah. Why do you go to the Kaaba and you touch and kiss the Kaaba? Wasila.
Okay. Wasila. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. Inshallah, we are nearing the end of the episode, but we do have a couple of questions remaining. If we can, Sheikhna, just go through the questions, as many as possible.
Just two more, please, and that's it.
Inshallah.
Just
okay.
two more. Thank you.
And from YouTube, what's the best way we can isolate culture from religion in today's world?
Make sure that it doesn't mix, because sometimes the culture would overtake the religion. That's the issue. The culture becomes like haram or wajib. So we have to be careful that we don't mix between the culture and the religion.
Okay, thank you very much, Sheikhna. And for the final question from WhatsApp, what's the best time to perform tahajjud?
Minutes before Adhan al-Fajr, the best time. 10, 15, 20 minutes before the Adhan al-Fajr, best time.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much, Sheikhna. And also, thank you very much for being with us and answering all the questions with us. Inshallah, if the viewers at home can send in their questions tomorrow, inshallah, the Sheikh will be here to answer them. We do apologize to everyone at home. We are at the end of the episode, so do make sure to send in your questions, and inshallah, the Sheikh will be here to answer them. Just a couple of things that we'd like to go through with you before we do end in the episode. Just right down below, you will receive a link below to donate to the different programs that we have. Of course, www.imamhussein3.tv/donate, and inshallah you can be a part of the mission that is Imam Hussein. Also our social media at Imam Hussein TV 3, and also on our Instagram at Ahkam SOS for all exclusive content. And inshallah do drop us a follow and a like and a subscribe as well on many of our social media. And inshallah we see you in tomorrow's episode. Fi amanillah.
Abu Talib, why are we here?
It's simple. Let's take these 7 steps and see where it takes us.
I can't talk on the tip of my tongue.
Wow, we're some nice clean shadi.
Yeah, one step closer. Let's take another step closer. Hopefully we won't have another outfit change.
Hope not. Have we started? Are we live?
Not yet.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to 7 Steps to Heaven. What's your name and where are you calling from?
And are you ready to take on 7 questions to be on your way to Karbala?
Karbala, my home. Karbala, here I come. I kneel into your sun. Karbala, Karbala,
In the heart of London, Imam Hussein Media Group is on the brink of an extraordinary transformation. We are securing a new home, a sanctuary named after the Queen of Karbala, Lady Zainab Salamullahi alayhi, who commemorated Abi Abdullah al-Hussein and spread the message of Karbala. This new complex, spanning 515 square meters, will be the central hub for our 5 channels. A place for filming, editing, broadcasting and gathering as a community. With a cost of £1.5 million, we invite you to be part of this new chapter. Each square meter will cost £2,900, but every contribution counts. One share is £290, or even one brick is £50. Your donation will not only build this sanctuary, but also secure immense reward in this world and the hereafter. Every show produced, every message broadcasted will be a source of thawab for you and your families. By helping us secure this building, you are paving the way for millions to connect with Karbala and the message of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam through our channels. Join the ranks of the lovers of Aba Abdullah. Be part of this noble cause. Donate today and make a lasting impact on Shia media globally.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Dear viewers of Imam Hussein TV, without your support, this channel would never be a success. Many of you have benefited from what is really a university of knowledge, lectures, interactive programs, and of course the Shia voice. The coverage that one receives in the holy month of Muharram and Safar, of course, from the land of Karbala is witnessed by millions around the world and is vital in the upbringing of our children and the health of our households and our communities. We need your generous support. With your support, there could be more documentaries. With your support, there could be more programs. With your support, Shia Voice may come to your community, but we cannot continue this without your generous donations. In this holy month of Ramadan, a month of charity, a month of giving, a month of generosity, come together, join us on Imam Hussein TV and generously donate as you always have done, so we may continue to provide programs which serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and of course the holy household.
سلة عباس عمره 7 سنين بابا ميت مستقل بابا أريد بابا بالعيد يشتري لي سيارة.
Son had wanted an SUV, and thanks to your donations, we made his dua come true with Imam Hussein Charity. Look how happy he is. A smile like that costs nothing, and for these guys, it's priceless.
Let's make sure no orphan feels left out this Eid. Donate to our campaign and help us bring a smile to their faces.
Welcome to the semi-finals of the Shia Voice 2025.
And now they are one step away from that grand finale.
It started off really strong.
I always say the truth.
Amir al-Mu'mineen.
Do not compare me with Sunnis.
That very moment.
The Lord of the Worlds. What happened after the 10?
I missed my family, the children.
Ignite hope and stamp out poverty with Imam Hussein Charity.
Sayyid, you ate before the adhan? Do you know if your fast was valid? Brother, you love tattoos, don't you? Is tattoos haram or halal? Uncle, you don't know if it's the third or the last rak'ah? Not sure if you need to repeat it? Abu Talib, it's pork flavor but vegetarian. Is it halal? Sayyid Muhsin, your yearly khums is here again? You don't know how to calculate it, do you? Don't worry, you're not alone. And I'm sure you guys... Can you just turn off the echo, please? Thank you very much. And I'm sure you guys have questions as well. Get the answers you need here on Ahkam SOS. We will be going live every night throughout the holy month of Ramadan, exclusively on Imam Hussein TV 3.
I ask you all to support Imam Hussein TV for the future of your youth, for the future of Shiaism. Every single person's life is dependent on your education, and Imam Hussein TV provides you a free Islamic education.
If you want to have good programs, if you want to have a source to help your community, your children, your families, do not hesitate.